Okay, just trying to look at some of these functions where we do graphing and WebAssign. Some people had some issues with this. This one's asking us to graph the function 2t plus 5, f of t equals 2t plus 5 in the viewing window. So, the first thing we need to do is find some points on this line. And with WebAssign, it should be that if you find 2 points on the line and they fit in the window, it'll let you graph it. Okay. So let's go over here. Here's the function, 2t plus 5. Okay, so I need to make a table here, and again, don't get caught up on the fact that it's t instead of x. We still find ordered pairs in the same way. Put some numbers in for t and find the y value, the f of t value that goes with it. Okay, so if t is 0, we'll get 2 times 0 plus 5. That's 5. If t is 1, we'll get 2 times 1 plus 5. That's 7. And just for an example, if t is 2, we'd get 2 times 2 plus 5, which is 9. And actually, let's do one more. If t is 3, we'd get 2 times 3 plus 5, which is 11. Okay, these are all ordered pairs which will be on the graph of that line. Now, one problem in WebAssign is that if you pick an ordered pair, if you find an ordered pair and it happens that it doesn't fit on the graph, you can't use it. But that's not a big deal, you just need to find some more points. So for example, if I had found this one first, and I look at the graph, which I'll go back there real quick. If you look at the graph, well, you see it can't really show a point with a y-coordinate of 11 on this graph. It only goes up to 10. Well, I can't plot that point. Okay, so this point, doesn't really work on the graph. If you find that point, it's no big deal. Just look for another one. Put a smaller value in for t. Remember, t can be a negative number, it can be a bigger positive number, whatever works. Okay, so here are the 2 points I'm going to use: 0, 5 and 1, 7. Okay, so I go back to the graph, tell WebAssign I want to graph a line, and I put those 2 points in. So the first one, 0, 5, is right here. Notice you could also type in the coordinates in this ordered pair situation here if you find that easier. And the other point is 1, 7, and again, I'll just select it here on the graph. But you could also highlight these boxes or select these boxes and type the coordinates in manually. Sometimes you do that if the coordinates turn out to be decimals. It might be hard to pick them on the graph. Okay, but that's it for that one. Okay. And again, it asks some more about average rate of change, which in my experience most people didn't have an issue with, but which is supposed to be the hard part. But with WebAssign, it's hard to tell what the hard part's going to be. But anyway, if I just do submit whole question here, we'll look at that graphing part and see what we get. Okay, so it should put a little check mark next to there. Yes, we got it correct. Okay, so that's the way we do the lines. Okay, now what about this one, the parabola? Okay, they want us to graph this parabola, x squared minus 5x minus 2, and I think I have it there because I actually already submitted this one, but I can do this, I can do clear all. Do you want to clear this? Yes. Okay, so normally you wouldn't clear a graph if you had it right, but that's the function. Okay, now again, if I go over here to WebAssign and I select parabola, here's the deal with parabolas. You have to tell it the vertex and any other point. Okay, so let's go back to the paper here. Here's my function. Where is the vertex? Well, you can find this on the calculator, but you might remember this formula from algebra. It's called the vertex formula. Negative b over 2a, comma, f of negative b over 2a. Okay, negative b over 2a is the trick here. Sorry, my pen's not working very well today. Okay, so that's the x-coordinate of the vertex. The number in front of x is called a. The number in front of x squared is called a, the number in front of x is called b, and this last number is called c. Okay, so this is referred to as the vertex formula, but it's an option of finding the vertex if you don't want to use all the features of the calculator. Negative b over 2a, okay, that's negative of negative 5. b is negative 5. So that's positive 5 over 2, which is 2.5. Okay, so that's the x-coordinate of the vertex. The y-coordinate I find by putting this number into the function. Okay, so that's going to be f of 2.5. Okay, so now in this problem you can type in decimals, but you still have to compute the value of this function when we put 2.5 in for x. Okay, so that's the x-coordinate. Y-coordinate, I'll have to go over here on the calculator and type it in. But if I do 2.5 squared minus 2 times 2.5, actually, was that right? Oops. Oh, no, minus 5 times 2.5. Sorry. Okay, so just putting that number into the function. Okay, so I just plugged 2.5 in for x in the original function, and here's what I get. Okay, so there's my x coordinate of the vertex, 2.5. The y coordinate is negative 8.25. Okay. Now I also need another point to graph this one, any other point that fits on the graph. Well, and it's usually easy to find the point when x is 0. So that's my vertex. Okay. But what about an other point? Okay. Okay, well, what about when I put 0 into the function? If I put 0 in for x, I'll just get, well, 0 squared minus 5 times 0 minus 2. That's going to be negative 2. Okay, so I just put this random x coordinate in, whatever I want. 0 is usually easy, and I get a second point. Okay, so if I go back to WebAssign, first thing it asks me for is the vertex. So it was 2.5, and sometimes it doesn't let you pick it. So again, I have to go down here and type 2.5. Okay, and again, some graphs will let you pick decimals, others won't. It's not a big deal. Just type it in by hand. Negative 8.25. Okay. So that's what I've typed in for the vertex. Now I also need to supply that other point, and we said 0, negative 2. Okay, was the other one. Okay, so I've got my point, I've got my vertex. That looks good. Go down here, and I will submit the whole question just to see how we did on the graph. And let's cross our fingers. Well, I think we must have gotten something right there. It's only a small part of the problem, but if you look at the parabola, it says yes, it is correct. Okay.